This was an unplanned video on the Newcastle game because I was so outraged by something in particular that happened, but more so, no one in mainstream media had the balls to call this out, but the improvements video will be out on the weekend. I'm going to look at the second goal first, and quite rightly, Dalot has been heavily criticised for the ease in which Livramento went past him. Roy Keane and Les Ferdinand were the pundits on Sky and they ripped into him, rightly so. Now the third goal, Mazraoui slips, but to go from here to here unchallenged is poor. In my view, Yoro should have come across because this space is more dangerous than this player, but equally so, Eriksson could have brought him down. But again, Keane and Ferdinand very critical. But it was the first goal that was an absolute disgrace for one reason, the hack man. Now, if you have seen someone in mainstream media call this out, let me know where in the comments. From here, he's in a 2-on-1, so he has to hold his ground. But doing what the hack man does, he shoots up and sells himself. Now, he's ripping into Amas because he thinks he should have stepped up. I would agree if Trippier was already in that position. But if we go back, Trippier is behind Cher at this point, so there is nothing to step up onto. As I said, Fernandes is overloaded and should have held his ground instead of selling himself. But from here, Fernandes is 7 metres away from Trippier, where Amas is 13 metres away. So 4 to 5 strides and Fernandes shuts that down. But what does he do? He stops running while continuing to moan at Amas. Trippier held on to the ball for 3 seconds before he played this pass. Fernandes could have run 10 yards past Trippier in that time. But this is the worst bit for me. When the ball goes in, he turns straight to Amas and rips into him again. This is an 18-year-old making his first start, and the captain does this to him. So, if you ever wonder why things like this happen, it's because we have a captain that does things like this. There's no way that Keane and Ferdinand didn't see this, but they were shit scared to criticise Fernandes because the hype train on this hack is out of control. After the game, Fernandes chatted a load of shit about the reason he complains to his teammates is because he knows they can do better. I will guarantee someone texted him after the game, probably Mendes' agent, and said that looks bad, get in front of the cameras, because after the Leicester game, the rhetoric was, I do it my way. He's got zero integrity and respect for his teammates. Bitching at experienced players is one thing, doing that to a youngster shows what this hack is all about. Now I want to ditch the hack man and move on to Bayindur. He got loads of stick for attempting this pass. By all accounts, he should have just cleared his lines. Again, this is awful analysis and shows zero awareness of what Amorim was trying to do. If we look at it from this angle, this is a typical Amorim situation, recycling the ball through the goalkeeper, drawing the press, creating this space in front of the striker to dink the ball into. I've highlighted this in previous videos. We can criticise him for the execution, but no one can criticise him for the intent, because that's the pass Amorim wants. And that's why all credible tactical analysis channels are important, because they put real context to situations that are poorly analysed by the mainstream. The devil's verdict is, Fernandes is football's equivalent of a child throwing themselves to the floor after being told by their mother that they can't have a chocolate bar at the checkout. I acknowledge that the last 3 months have been the best of his United career. It's only taken 5 years for him to prove he is more than just a counter-attacking punter. But this game again proved where the toxicity at United comes from. Him. It was all McFred's fault. They've gone. Then it was Martial's fault. He's gone. Then Sancho, then Rashford. All the problems have gone, but United are getting worse. When are people going to wake up to the fact that the real issue is still here?